What is going on, all of you Nintendo fans out there in the world? I'm Mega Amster. Thank you for watching this unboxing video. Whether you are a new or returning viewer, I appreciate you being here. And I need that coffee, man. But today, big day, the Nintendo Switch 2, as of this upload, has officially released. I got my pre-order. I set it for pickup through Best Buy. Did not go to the midnight launch. I considered it, but I was like, if I can just pick it up the morning after, I'm just going to get normal sleep if I can. And that's what I did, and then I went to go pick it up, and here I am. With the Nintendo Switch 2, I got the base model, just the console itself. I did pay $80 for Mario Kart, and I got a carrying case as well, so we can check out all of those. But of course, the main feature here is going to be the console itself. And I have my original Switch on the side as kind of a send-off to compare it to the Switch 2, see how it feels, see how it goes. But with that, let's do, of course, the main event, the console itself first, the Nintendo Switch 2. Bunch of new stuff, much more powerful version of the original Switch, new magnetic Joy-Con with the mouse controls. Maybe you can look at that a little bit. Let's take a look at the sides of the box here. It is generally bigger. My Nintendo Switch that I have, I never got the OLED. It was probably the red box model, not the launch model, because I got it in Christmas of 2017, my first Switch. But this is the first console I've ever bought at launch. Never ever had a console at launch. Maybe I don't even think the handhelds from Nintendo I did. Back when they did dedicated handhelds, just some information on the bottom there. It looks like it should come with, the Joy-Con, the charger, the dock, the grip, the non-charging grip, HDMI cable, the straps, all the good stuff. So let's just jump into it and unbox this thing. This is exciting. New generation for Nintendo. All right, so I got a little setup thing here on the bottom. Plug it in, of course, and set it up. Joy-Con battery is also charged. Yep. Joy-Con 2. Sorry, I gotta start calling it the Joy-Con 2. And the detach mechanism is on the back, kind of below that ZR, ZL buttons there. We'll see how this compares to the original Switch. Ooh, here it is. The unit itself. So this is the Switch 2 unit itself in plastic. Let me actually get the Switch 1 out. Hello, Switch 1. Ready for comparison. I'll do the Joy-Con after, but let's just take a look at just basic comparison. I mean, that's a noticeable size difference, right? Height and width. Mainly width, but also height. I have the version that has a lot of bezel on the side, so it's great to have those there. So yeah, definitely good for comparison's sake here to have it just, much, much bigger. This is also an LED screen like the base Switch, but I've heard it's a lot nicer. So honestly, I've heard I was a little disappointed that it wasn't OLED at launch, but at the same time I'm like, LCD, it could be a really nice LCD screen if it's the right one. But here we go. At the bottom of it, USB-C down there, a couple of vents down there. This is where the Joy-Con 2 will attach. And I imagine that's the releasing mechanism in there. And the sides are kind of colored based off that. There's a USB-C on the top now. Looks like more fans. Power button and volume buttons look pretty similar. The kickstand. Oh, actually, no, this must be the SD card. The game card? Wait. Oh, game card's on the, wait. Oh no, I'm done. This is the top still. I'm thinking this is the bottom. No, that's just me not remembering. And then here we go. The right Joy-Con will attach there. And there we go. Let's check out that kickstand though, because I'm used to the flimsy one of the Switch 1. Oh, that's so much nicer. Not that I use tabletop super often. I occasionally do, but that is a much nicer stand. I've got the one, if we go here, vote for Pedro. Forgot about that sticker back there. The little flimsy, little dinky guy. Here we got this really nice kickstand that is very much adjustable. Love that. This is great. Very nice. All right. And the screen itself on the front. I'm trying not to get too many fingerprints on it. I do think there is, there was something about a protective film layer, but clearly it's not meant to be taken off. That Nintendo was like, don't take this off, but seems good to me. All right, let's do the Joy-Con next. The Joy-Con 2, I should say. Ooh, so I did not go to the Switch 2, like any of the events there. So this is the first time I'm holding a Switch 2 in my hands. Already, this is a much bigger Joy-Con. The sticks feel really good. These feel even better than the Switch 1 sticks. That feels really nice. Almost like a matte finish too on these. The Switch 1 kind of has that, but it's a little dinkier. Bigger minus and plus buttons slightly, maybe not. Still got the capture button, the 4 directional buttons. SL and SR are much bigger. Sorry for the lawnmower out there. These buttons, I forget what those do. Those might just be for the magnetic release. You can see the optical sensor right there. That's for the mouse functionality. That plugs into the Switch 2 where it goes, and that's the sync button as always. L and R feel pretty much the same as the Switch 1 Joy-Con. Release mechanism you can see here. When I push that in, that's how it releases. But yeah, these are magnetic. Let me just do a side-by-side comparison of the left ones so you can see. I mean, look at the difference. This is a lot more rounded, like gradual rounding on top, so it makes it a lot bigger, as you can probably see. And this is the sliding rail, whereas this is the magnet. So honestly, like on my Switch 1, the sliding rail's been acting up where sometimes my Joy-Con literally disconnect. So the magnet's gonna be super duper nice. I've come around on the just kind of like simple coloring, the black coloring with like the highlights of the blue. I've come around on that for sure with the Switch 2. Let's put them on its side so you can see there. I put some caps on here just because it came with like a repair kit I think I got. Yeah, so instead of these buttons for the rail, you got the magnet there. Much bigger SL and SR buttons. Look at those. Much, much bigger. Cool. All right, let's attach it. Just the left one, right? Make sure on the right side. Oh, and then if I release, right, this button. Oh, that feels good when it snaps in. Definitely want to be careful with these though. Here's the right Joy-Con with the kind of salmon looking color. Pretty similar to the, well, this is more salmon. The original Switch had the blue and red. The blue's pretty similar, but this is more of a salmon. The Switch 1 was more red. So one thing to note here, the Switch 1, I got the right Joy-Con here, has the IR sensor, which wasn't utilized very much, and they just decided to remove it for Switch 2, which makes sense. It wasn't utilized a ton. Excuse me. Otherwise, pretty similar to the left Joy-Con, just obviously on the right. Still have an NFC chip reader in the right stick, I believe. We have the C button for game chat. Home button's still there, and we got the face buttons. They feel way more premium. And these Joy-Con are like 4 years old, to be fair, but like just holding them, these feel way more premium, for sure, for comparison's sake. There it is. Just snaps right in. And then I can... The release is interesting. It's almost like you have to push it in farther than you would think. Like this feels right to me, but then I have to go the full way and then it releases, which is interesting. But snaps right in just like that. Let me put the Joy-Con on the Switch 1 just for comparison before we take out the dock. There we go. Here you go. Oh, I got something on there. Oh man, yeah, this feels a lot heavier, I will say. And also thinner. It feels thinner. Maybe by a tiny bit. It might just be the Joy-Con. I do feel a little nervous about like holding the Switch 2 by its sides here because you can see it kind of like, I don't know if you can see it, but like I hold it here. If I put my weight here, it almost bends a little bit. I'm a little nervous about that with the magnets. So I'm going to try to hold it by the base more. But I mean, just like much, I'm trying to hold this so I'm not blocking it. Huge size difference here. Huge size difference. Switch 1, Switch 2. In terms of height and width, the Switch 2 just definitely dominates it. But it's honestly, it's a lot heavier than I was expecting. Maybe I'm just trying to be more fragile with it because it's delicate. But no, maybe they're roughly the same. Maybe a tiny bit heavier in the Switch 2. I don't know. But I think it might honestly be like the magnet in the Joy-Con 2. And I'm just like nervous about, I don't want to put my weight there. So maybe that's why it feels heavier. But very cool. Super premium feeling, very nice. The thumbsticks feel great. I don't know what they did. I know they said they tried to improve it so there wouldn't be as much drift, but there you go. That is the Nintendo Switch 2 with the Joy-Con attached. So let me put the kickstand. Where does the micro SD Express go? Is it that little slot right there? That must be it, right in there. That has to be, because it's not on top. That's where the game card is. Yeah, okay. Let me put this kickstand out. Kind of, oh, actually, that might just be a little notch for the kickstand. Oh, I see. Right there. It's under the stand. Makes sense. Okay. Keep it out of the way. Only can take micro SD Express, so that's something to note if you're buying the Switch 2 and you are trying to do that. All right. Let me move these out of the way a little bit. I'm gonna just take more out of this box. What have we got? Okay, there we go. Safety, usage guide, all that good stuff. We've got the HDMI cable that Nintendo notoriously showed on Nintendo Today. Very important update. Pretty much almost looks identical to the Switch 1 HDMI cable, which is good, but I think this is probably HDMI, 2.1? Whatever allows them to do the 4K. So, pretty similar though. Pretty good HDMI cable. We've got the straps. Ooh, okay, so the straps I want to try out actually quickly because the straps actually make it a lot easier for mouse mode. So I'm going to test it out with the right Joy-Con here. I'm going to test this out a little bit. So that's the blue strap. If I put this in here, I'm guessing the release mechanism is the same as it is for, if I put the bottom on first, there we go. Much nicer. So see how it now covers the full thing? And now it's like, and it acts as like a protective layer for the Joy-Con. So that definitely seems like it's recommended to use these if you're going to use the mouse mode at all. Seems like it's probably possible without it, but like, it's a nice like protective bottom. It's got these little things here, so. You can play Metroid Prime 4, Civ 7, whatever you want to play. Okay. Not playing Drag and Drive, that's for sure. But okay, that actually feels pretty natural, especially as someone, so I use a vertical mouse. This actually feels pretty good. Mario Maker 3, Nintendo, come on, you got to do it. I will buy it. But there we go. That's one of the straps, so those are really nice. Nice, you can hear that magnet just snap in there. Let's get this dock out of here. This is the grip. The non-chargeable grip. Seems pretty similar to the Switch 1 non-chargeable grip. Let's actually test this out. Does magnets as well. Click. Except it's obviously taller because the Joy-Con are very much taller. A tiny bit wider, but mainly taller here. Yep. Yeah, that feels pretty solid. Definitely going to take some getting used to of the Joy-Con just being bigger. I actually didn't mind their size. I was one of those people who played with the Joy-Con separately. I know it's kind of crazy, but I would like play with them in my hand. This one might be a little more difficult to do that, but I mean, still, I have big hands, so it probably would work. But non-chargeable grip feels pretty solid. I was debating about getting the chargeable grip. I've not done that though. AC adapter, I'm going to need this pretty much right now. Big block, fairly similar to the Switch 1, except you can actually detach it now. So that's kind of nice. The Switch 1, the power cable that came with the Switch 1, you cannot detach the cable from the brick. So that's actually kind of nice. Not that I'd recommend using the brick for anything else because, it's got to support the specific wattage. This USB-C cable actually is quite long. Thank you, Nintendo, for thinking of that. I'm actually going to charge it in the background because I'm going to need to. I'm taking this thing on a plane ride with me tomorrow. Let's actually put into the new top USB-C. And we see it is turning on. Let me actually power this thing on so you can see it in the background as I unbox the rest of the stuff here. Wow, can you hear that? What nice ambiance. While that's going on, I'm gonna take the dock out. That should be the last thing in the big box here. There we go. And I wish I took the Switch 1. I don't really want to take the Switch 1 dock out to compare, but this is definitely taller, considering the Switch 2 is taller, it makes sense. And it's like rounded on the edge. I think the OLED was like that, but there you go. 2 USB ports on the side, just like the Switch 1. And what's interesting here is rather than a little latch that comes off, you kind of just take this whole plastic back comes off. And in here, you've got the built-in Ethernet like the OLED, HDMI, and the AC adapter. So pretty similar to the Switch 1 dock, except the original Switch 1 dock has the extra USB in here instead of the Ethernet port, which, to be honest, I have that USB port in the Switch 1 dock being utilized for the Wii LAN adapter so I can get Ethernet on my Switch. So really, it doesn't matter, but you're losing a USB port, so depending on what you like, but We can fit this thing in the dock here. Let me close in the kickstand. There it is. Sitting in the dock. That is the Switch 2, everybody. With the mouse straps and with the grip. Very nice. It just, in comparison, it feels a lot more premium. We'll do one more side-by-side comparison. It feels way more premium, than the Switch 1, for sure. The kickstand's way better. I will say the only thing is it feels a little more fragile, to be honest, with the Joy-Con 2 attached because of that magnetic thing. They have a little give. To be fair, the Switch 1 also does that. It's not a unique situation to the Switch 2, but it's like, I don't know, I'll be curious to see. I'm sure they're sturdy enough. I'm sure they've tested it, but it's interesting that it's like, has a tiny bit of give, but I also think I'm just trying to be more fragile because it's new and feels more premium, like I said. So overall, very premium feeling product. So, but before I wrap up this unboxing, let's take a look at a couple other things I got. So I got the physical of Mario Kart World. Really like the box art here, as you can see. Really cool stuff there. There's not gonna be much to check out here. A World of Racing awaits. Intense 24 driver competition, so we have 24 racers now. The Joy-Con 2 wheel. Yeah, I'm not gonna get that. Knockout Tour, really cool mode. Freely roam the open road, that's what I'm gonna be playing on the plane tomorrow. 1 to 4 players locally. Yeah, here we go. Inside, we just got the cartridge, the red cartridge there. I'm not gonna lick it, don't ask me to. And the inside artwork's also very cool, so that's about it for Mario Kart. But let's check out this carrying case too. I want to see how this is, because I think this also comes with, nice, it does, a screen protector. That's exactly what I was hoping. Oh, okay, I'm gonna need a pair of scissors. 1 second, quickly. Enjoy the relaxing sounds of the Switch 2 as it awaits me to play it. I gotta do a system transfer. That's what I gotta do. Get my Switch 1 stuff over before the flight. And then I don't know what I'm doing with my Switch 1, because I was gonna give it to my girlfriend because she wanted a Switch, but now she's like, oh, well, my brother said he can give me his. And I'm like, well, I have a free Switch. So let's check this carrying case out, because why not make it a big mega unboxing? That's the cleaning stuff for the screen protector. All right, there we go. Take this little foam piece off the zipper. Oh, okay, interesting zipper, matching the Joy-Con colors, Nintendo. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. You're trying to be cheeky over there. Let's take a look inside of here. Oh, I see. There we go. And then we have, okay, so yeah, it's nothing crazy. It's a standard case. I just wanted to have it for travel. Nothing crazy to write home about. In here, we've got 6 spots back here for game cartridges, which is what most of them typically have. And then we've got a little pouch. Those will be good for like the straps mainly. I'll put in there. Nintendo Switch 2 on the front. Yeah, the screen protector is itself in here. So I think that's gonna do it, everybody. That's pretty much everything for this unboxing. I know it's a bit of a long one, but the system itself just took a while to get through. I'm gonna work on setting this up. I'm gonna transfer over my stuff from Switch 1 to 2 and work on that. So that's gonna do it for this unboxing. Thank you so much if you watched, however you do. I appreciate it, whether you're a new or returning viewer. And unfortunately, I'm gonna be missing the SGF announcement season, so I'm gonna try to catch up when I'm back from my vacation. But when I come back, I'm gonna try to do some Mario Kart World streams, so we'll see how those go. Anyways, everybody, that's gonna do it. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you all in the next video live stream. And until then, next generation of Nintendo is here. Go enjoy, gamers.